Some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft? All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the start. I don't.
Hello and greetings, everyone of pop culture, media, and stuff. Today is the Commando 1985 movie live breakdown in live review. Thank you, Jeff, for opening your beer. While talking, whatever. That's usually you, sir. But anyway, I'm moderating today. I'm Andreas, pop culture guy. Unfortunately, Cyber is not longer with us today. He was supposed to moderate this classic 80s movie from 1985, but I'm going to take over it because I love this movie. One of the best classic action films of all time. I mean, everyone, if you guys are big action film buffs and Joel Silver and, Arnold Schwarzenegger fans, this is peak of that. So anyway, we have three collected awesome people here, new in the MCU'S Bleeding Edge crew. I'm gonna introduce them one by one. First, I'm gonna start with the top. Clarence, how you doing, sir? Just introduce yourself and what podcast you do and the stuff you talk about.
Good evening, fellas. My name is Clarence. Mostly, low budget movie reviews is what I'm doing now. I kind of started that during the whole pandemic thing when theaters shut down. So I was watching a lot of streaming stuff. So a lot of, of the lower budget variety things. So I was like, I'm watching so many movies, I might as well just talk about them. So initially it was just for family and friends. And they said, hey, you should put some stuff out. And that's how that got started. But I watch all the newer stuff too. But yeah, mostly that was my focus as far as the movie review thing and discussions. So low budget movie reviews with Clarence is what it's called.
Thank you, Clarence. Really cool. That's awesome. Yeah. Oh boy, Netflix have some bunch of low budget movies that are so bad. I'm like, oh, what the hell? Anyway, we're not gonna go into that. It's a nightmare to go through. It's like the new hallmark of television slash movies, folks.
Yeah.
If you understand that. But
a lot of Hallmark stuff.
Yeah. Christmas. Oh my God. I'm like, please just leave it for Hallmark. They're the ones to do it. But anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris, next person, Chris, how you doing? Please
I'm
tell.
Doing great.
Oh, it's good. I love the poster behind you. Empire Strikes Back. Tell about your podcast. What you do, what you talked about. Go ahead.
Sure. I do a podcast called the Cinematic Traveler Podcast. I'm on all the services, and I'm just dipping my toes into the YouTube universe now. I mostly do new reviews every week. I just go out to see something in the movie theater and then give you my thoughts on that. And much like Clarence, I started a few years back on a different podcast, and I've changed here and there and everything. My friends and family got tired of me talking bullshit movies with them. So I was like, you know what? I'll bother some more people I don't even know. So I decided I'd get behind the mic, and here I am. And I'm excited to talk about Commando because this, like you said, this is one of the peak 80s movies, action movies, Arnold movies, right when he's hitting his stride. So I can't wait to talk about this flick.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah. You two are kind of similar to me. That's how I started in the podcast around pandemic was kicking in. I started to do that as well. Really cool.
That's not true. You started doing YouTube and all that shit before the pandemic, sir.
No, let me be clear. I did YouTube, but I didn't start doing reviews or podcasts. That was later on I did it. I just mainly did stuff, but I'm not going to get into it later on if you guys care. But anyway, our next person, a lot of story. I've been doing this for 10 years, folks. Well, 11, counting, but whatever. The next person here, Tim, the nerd friends talking nerdy. How you doing, sir? Please talk about what kind of podcast you have, what topic you do. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, well, as the name says there right on the screen, I am the host and creator of Friends Talking Nerdy. We recently just celebrated our 400th episode. Wow. In August of this year, we'll be hitting 8 years of being on the air. I host it with Professor Aubrey or the Reverend Tracy, depending on the week. But each week, we talk about stuff that we're passionate about. Because when you're nerdy about something, it's simply being passionate. And a lot of times we'll sit back and talk about, our favorite music. We'll talk about our favorite movies. We'll talk about current events too, because with everything happening in the world, it's hard not to talk about that at times. But each week, each Monday, we have interesting talks, and I'm glad to be here.
Cool. Well, congratulations on your, what was it, 400th episode?
Yeah, 400.
awesome.
Yeah, this
awesome.
coming Monday it'll be 402.
All right.
Wow.
That's
Nice.
It's
Congrats.
really awesome. Yeah. Just briefly describe me and Jeff very quickly. Andreas, pop culture guy. I've been doing 11 years of YouTube content. I do pop culture tributes or stuff like movies, TV, all that, comic books. And then recently I started to do more reviews and live stream reviews and podcasts on pretty much all the classic bads or the new ones over the years. And it's been really fun. I've been with the MCU for right now 2.5 years. It's been really awesome. And it's been fun discussing great shows and even the bad ones like the Acolyte and Secret Invasion, which was pain, but I went with other people with that, thank goodness I couldn't do it alone. But anyway, and Jeff, go ahead, introduce yourself, and one bumpy, and you're beautiful, sir. The man, the myth, the true knowledge.
I don't know why you're always trying to tell me I'm beautiful and Cyber we're beautiful and all that kind of shit or
Hey,
whatever.
I don't know. Maybe there's an audience. There's an audience there. Maybe they want to think you're beautiful people.
I have other attributes other than my physical attractiveness or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I've got more going on, like more going on. Like I'm more multi-layered than that.
Okay, hold on. Let me make a list here. Glasses.
So.
Hair check. I'm sorry.
I'm just glad to be here doing another live stream show, another movie review with you, sir. Watching you flexing your moderating skills. So I'm ready to do Commando, baby. I'm ready to get into it. Talk some Arnold.
That's right.
Yes.
Let's party.
Yes, let's party. I'm the party pooper, folks.
There's a lot of really good like Arnold euphemisms, like what I'm saying, like in the movie,
Oh my god, a lot of them. Yeah, and one I was surprised he did. I was like, oh my god, and crazy he used that one quote that, like, obviously, if you know the famous quote I'm talking about from a particular sci-fi film, I was kind of surprised that he did it here because even the Running Man did that as well. But we'll get into that scene later on. All right,
Andres. So look, I'm not going to give out the Danny Award to anybody tonight because Alyssa Milano actually did a really good job in Commando.
She did.
She's pretty solid as a child actor. So no Danny's. I just wanted you guys to see the Danny Award. So you guys can check it out. We give the Danny Award to like the worst child actors in the films that we review. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There you go. There's the Danny Award.
And also MVPs as well, who are the best as well. We also do that as well with the Danny Award. Anyway, thank you, sir. That is true. She's actually very good in this. She's actually one of the best child actors. I mean, as all of us have discussed in movies, or
everybody is good in Commando.
Oh yeah,
everybody, top to bottom.
Yeah, top to bottom, of course. Yeah, but let me get into this film. So it's 1985. Actually, happy 40th anniversary of this film, by the way. It was 40 years, which is crazy. It was a commercial success at the box office. It was released on October 4th, 1985. It was directed by Mark L. Lester. He has a weird and interesting filmography. I'm just gonna list the ones that you guys kind of heard of. He did the version of the Stevie King Firestarter, the Drew Barrymore one, in 1984. He did Armed and Dangerous, the John Candy movie. I was like, okay, yeah. And then, just wrapping up like his filmography, he did Showdown in Little Tokyo. If anyone knows that, that's the Dolph Lundgren.
Brendan Lee,
yeah, Brendan Lee movie. When I saw that, I was like, really? He did that? Okay, so that's his list of filmography. Obviously, I brought up the producer, Joel Silver. This is produced by Joel Silver, the iconic American film producer of the 80s and 90s. He produced classic ones like, let me just look, like 48 Hours, Brewster's Millions, Weird Science, Lethal Weapon, the film series in general. He did Predator, Die Hard, the first two. There were some a little some beef he had with Bruce Willis, so he discontinued from that franchise. And obviously, he just wrapping up, he did the Matrix films, the first three, the trilogy. So very prolific producer, one that really defined what 80s action films really are at that time, and 90s. Just be clear on that. And then just lastly, just wrapping up the who's involved with this. The filmmaking stage, we got Stephen E. D'Souza, the screenwriter here. If anyone knows, he's a very famous writer that Joseph used to like rewrite pretty much everything in movies he was involved with. Like he was involved with Die Hard in his first sequel. He did Hudson Hawk, the Passion Project of Bruce Willis. Yeah, and he did Judge Dredd, and obviously, just wrapping up, he did awfully famously the Street Fighter film. That and that I mean we covered it. I enjoy it. I mean, of course, the MVP, the Danny Ward has to go. Arul Julia, the actor who played the villain there, who's famous from the Addams Family. He's Puerto Rican, so I'm Puerto Rican. He's such a great actor. Sad he's not longer with us.
I agree.
Amazing actor in that movie in Street Fighter. That's the only reason you should watch it. Besides that, anyway, I'm just gonna one by one, just kind of like you guys' feelings. Like, let me start with you, Tim. How are you a big Arnold fan? What's your thoughts on Commando? Is it your top tier Arnold film in general? Go ahead.
Well, I mean, when you have like Terminator 2 Judgment Day in your catalog, I mean, I don't think there's too much that could top that. But it was a great movie at the time. I remember watching it on VHS back in the day. Getting a chance to rewatch it here lately was definitely great as well. And what I love about seeing it now is it kind of shows you the evolution of Arnold Schwarzenegger as an actor. In my 20s, back in Grand Rapids, when I was in college, I took some theater classes, and one of the people, one of my professors, who was actually a mentor of a young Gillian Anderson back in the day, said that he thought Arnold Schwarzenegger was a bad actor. And I thought about that, and on the one hand, I get that. Schwarzenegger, even today, could not play Macbeth and, have us believe it. But on the other hand, I wouldn't necessarily call him a bad actor. I'd call him a smart actor, because I think with all the critiques that you can say about his performances, whether it's in this movie or any other movie, I think he's very much aware of that as well. And this shows how good he is at picking the right people, I guess, to be around to get the most out of him. Because even back in that day, he was not going to have a 3-minute monologue scene, but he was still very much effective and just absolutely fun. I mean, the charisma shines through.
Well put.
No, thank you, Tim. I agreed. Arnold was very smart. Him and Stallone were very smart actors. I mean, especially Stallone. I was surprised how like him as a writer. I was like, oh, really? Interesting. Yeah, Arnold was very smart in his career. Like he do have to pick the right directors, and like especially like his collaboration with James Cameron. Like they're really good friends, but especially James Cameron, he knew how to bring out the best of Arnold. And yeah, I agree with you, Tim. Arnold knew what kind of actor he was, and he knew had to deliver each time with this film. Unlike certain actors like The Rock, it just I like him, but he doesn't know how to control himself sometimes. I'm sorry, I just had to do that. Anyway, Chris,
yes.
Let me hear your thoughts. How you got introduced to the film? Are you a big Arnold fan? And how this rank for you in terms of top tier Arnold?
Oh, I don't know if I want to admit how I got introduced to this film. I might be dating myself here, but I actually saw it in the movie theater when I was a kid. So when it first came out. So my dad and I, we were big Arnold fans from Conan the Barbarian. When we saw that, we were like, oh, we got to see every movie this guy's in. And so we went and saw this movie. I love this movie. It will always be one of my favorites, I think, because of that connection of being a kid and just kind of, I tell people back then we didn't have superhero movies. Arnold was our superhero, or Stallone. They were like superheroes. We thought they could do everything on the screen like that. Going back and watching, I've watched this movie countless times. I mean, I got it memorized. I watched it again just for the show. I really didn't need to, but I was like, oh, this is fun. I think it was really cool to watch it and see. I think, Tim, you mentioned it. This is sort of Arnold becoming Arnold, because I think before this he had like Raw Deal. I know he did Terminator, but that was kind of not the Arnold that we kind of after this we get with the one-liners and that charisma and charm that he brings to everything. I mean, God,
Raw Deal is a solid movie. I'm gonna add that to our list, Andres.
That's a good one. That's a good one. But yeah, he's got so much charm and charisma. And like I said, I mean, I saw him in Conan, but when you go back and watch stuff like even Pumping Iron, you could just see that this guy, he's not a great actor, but as he says, he's not a great actor, but he's a movie star. And that's what he is. And this I feel like this is the one that really kicked it off. And like you said, he did from here for a while, I would say a good 10 years. He knew the right films to pick and stay kind of within himself. But also, he did challenge it. Like you talked about The Rock, and Rock kind of plays it safe. And Arnold would play bad guys and be in R-rated movies and do awful things to people, but it was fun back then. So anyway, I love Commando. This is great.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I'm just looking at the filmography here. It's before Predator, Commando, and Raw Deal was next year, 1986. And I didn't know this. The Running Man is the same year as Predator. So
wow.
Yeah, so like I think Predator is where we really got Arnold, because that really kind of
top tier right there.
Top tier, yeah. Like that's where I think. Oh, go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, I was going to say too. You mentioned the comic book aspect of it, Chris. One of the people that actually came up with the initial story, the early drafts of the script, was one Jeff Loeb. Comic book writer, and also one of the creative heads for the Marvel shows that were on Netflix. So like Daredevil, Iron Fist, and stuff like that as well. So very much intentional.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
it definitely comes through in this movie. Yeah.
Yes, it's totally like this is something I can see the Suicide Squad movie could be if they did the grounded one, not the supervillain team, but they could do it as well. Jeff Lowe, right? I mean, okay, writer, but I mean, I love Long Halloween. Anyway, Clarence, let me go to you, sir. What's your thoughts on Commando? Is it your top tier Arnold film? And have you seen the film in theaters or not? Go ahead.
Yes, definitely. Arnold movies probably top 5 for me. I think Predator, I think everybody mentioned. For me, when I saw Predator, I think I saw the progression of, because he was in Terminator, he only had like a 1 or 2 lines or whatever. Then this movie came out, I was like, oh, okay, he can actually act a little bit. And then, Predator and Running Man, you see the progression. He was like right in his pocket, right in those action movies. Again, I'm gonna date myself here too. I had at least I thought my dad was cool, because I was like maybe 9 or 10 years old when this movie came out, and he let me watch it. This was an R-rated movie, right? I believe. Yeah. So he let me watch it. We watched it, and not at the movie theater though. I believe we watched it on like HBO or something like that. Back where cable was big. So I have very fond memories of that. And like I think Mr. Stallone, I think was it Rambo First Blood that came out that same year? And
it did.
I think so.
Commando, I believe so. Yeah, so coming off of that, and this was when, like you guys were saying, those 80s action movies were just something else. And like you said, there was no superhero. These were the superheroes, the kind of formula, the one man versus insurmountable odds. And these kind of movies were just great in that time. So have a very fond memories of this. And I did actually. I watched it again too. I've seen it, multiple times as well. But I had to watch it, and it just brought back all those memories again as a kid watching that movie. So, but yeah, definitely Arnold's, definitely top tier movie. And same with Red Sonja came out like a couple years after this. He was like in that with the whole Barbarian series. He had Conan and Conan the Destroyer. Then he was in the Red Sonja movie. So yeah, I mean, I was all over Arnold back then. It was great. But yeah, this is a great movie. I'm a great time with this one.
Yeah. It's rated R. At first I was like, oh really? It's right. I mean, besides the cursing, I mean, I kind of should know that. But then we get to the big act, the final one, when he chops up people's heads, it's like, whoa, very Commando-like. But anyway, Jeff, let me get to you, sir. What are your thoughts on this film? You love it? You see it in theaters, sir? Are you a big fan of Arnie and this stuff here?
No, we just got lucky that like Chris is like the one person that saw Commando in theaters. Like
I'm old.
Nobody else.
You're lucky. There's an old guy on the
nobody else
show.
here
That's
is-
what you're telling me.
Nobody else here has saw it in theaters. You know what I'm saying? I saw it like on HBO, like Clarence, or like on VHS, like Tim. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those ways. Like that's how I saw it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, anyways, no, Commando is a classic for me. I remember watching it as a kid with my dad, and then we had it on VHS on the VHS tape, so I could always watch it whenever I wanted to, and just take it in my room and watch it, you know. And so I would watch the fuck out of Commando when I was like a little kid and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I modeled my outside playing life around Commando. You know what I mean? Like I would replicate the gun scene, like the gun store scene and shit with my guns and shit. You know, like and my stick guns and shit like that as a kid. And it was all based off Commando. You know what I'm saying? Like like I'm telling you. So like, Commando had like a really big impression on me as a child. There's no TNA in Commando, surprisingly. You know what I'm saying? You'd think for an 80s film, there'd be at least like one TNA shot. I couldn't remember before I watched it today for the first time in like 20 something years or whatever, right? Like, I hadn't seen it since probably, I don't know, sometime like probably in the early 90s or something like that. Probably was the last time I seen Commando, I think probably. I watched it tonight. I noticed some stuff that I never saw before in the past, like when I was younger watching it or whatever. I noticed some stuff in the story and all that. I didn't watch the director's cut because I didn't know how long it was or whatever, but they have a director's cut for this, which I think is interesting.
Yeah. It's not different. I think it shows a bit more of the gore. I think, but it's yeah.
Commando is top tier Arnold. I mean, he's definitely in my top 5 Arnold films, and it's something that a movie that will always be memorable for me. It's a movie that like once you watch it as a kid, it kind of imprints on you to where it's there like in your psyche for the rest of your life. You can remember the story, like the basics of Commando in the back of your head. When you try to reach inside and try to remember Commando, you can remember the storyline and everything and like what goes on and shit. It's a film that has that effect. It's very compact. It's only 86 minutes or whatever. Very compact, short film, but it's like packs a punch. You know what I'm saying? For like those 86 minutes.
Yeah.
The tempo is great for the film. It's great. It really is. Like the overall, just the pace of the movie, it's really, really consistent throughout the whole film. It never falls off at all. Really, it's a classic. I don't know how you would label it technically. I don't know if it's like an 80s action classic or something like that. How you would like label it, but it's something like that. It's that good of a movie in general. It's not just an Arnold movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm simple with you guys. As a kid, my dad was a huge fan of Arnold, and we see a lot of the 80s classic action films, and Commando was no different. I seen bits of the film. Today was like the first time like seeing not like the full film. Like I remember each piece of the film. The fact that this is so short is like I was not too surprised. Like certain things, I remember this part very well. This. So it was just like seeing all this complete together. The thing that I was surprised was like the quotes, like seeing the iconic line, and it like Sally, I'm gonna save you last, and then regarding that, and then Bennett, who is so fantastic. I mean, I didn't realize this is the same guy from Mad Max 2, World Warrior, and I was like, oh my god, that is
Bill Paxton is in this movie.
I know.
He got a little bit part.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, shut up, get out of here. This is gonna be the best movie review ever. It's just seeing Bill Paxton, great actor. Like, oh, so sad he's not alone with us, but he's so good and he's so funny when like in Predator 2. I mean, that is the only reason I watch Predator 2 is because of Bill Paxton. Anyway, thank you guys. Really love those, great stories and just backgrounds of this movie with you guys' history with Arnold and his filmography. So let me go like step by step to the film sequence. I'm gonna stop and like kind of discuss what you thought about the sequence of the film, what you like it. You can bring in some interesting things that you notice, but so let me get into it now. So in the beginning of the film, we see like just a regular like mundane life that we always have, pick up the garbage and all that. Car dealers, we don't like because they're gonna give us these awful cheap cards, but then all of a sudden, like the garbage people kills this one random dude. I was like, what the hell? I was like, oh, this overkill. I was like, shoots him at like, whoa, okay, I get you want to kill him. I was like, not overkill. And then even the car dealer, like, Bill Duke, iconic '80s actor, also in
Yep.
Predator.
Yep.
He was part of this assassination of these people. Kills the car dealer by overrunning him in the car, which was hilarious. He's like, let me test this out. And then I'm trying to remember if he also killed was the Bennett because he walks into the boat. So we get that. So then we cut back into upstate California, where we meet of course, our main protagonist, John Matrix. By the way, his name is funny, John Matrix. Okay.
Matrix.
Yeah, Matrix. I was like, yeah, okay, all right, that's very soldier name, or I don't know. A former United States Army Special Forces colonel. He's with his daughter, played by Alyssa Malone, a very famous actress from Who's the Boss and Mulder's Charm. Mulder's Place. Plus, her name was the ship for Star Lord in the first two Guardians films and the Infinity War saga in general. Before we replaced that in Volume 3 and then the Christmas special. So he's with his daughter, they're having this like very, angelic time together, fishing, having ice cream, and Arnold doing beans, as your father do, chop a tree, a huge tree. What was it? Cyber brought this up the other day. I was like, no way he was carrying a tree. It was like he was carrying a log. And then I saw the whole fucking tree. I was like, oh my God, he is holding a fucking tree. I was like, wow. And part of my French, but I was like, okay, yeah, this movie is gonna be peak '80s. So after that, he sees, at all that like mundane things he's doing with his daughter. We see a helicopter coming in, and then we get introduced to his like former superior, Major General Franklin Kirby, and informs him about these unknown mercenaries that have killed all his members of his former unit. Okay, that makes sense. And so they he tells him that like he needs to maybe come back and maybe help him to maybe stop it, but he's gonna stay with his daughter. So he has two men to protect him from these mercenaries, which is kind of ridiculous. Why two? Like, what about a whole army to protect them? I that part I was like, wow, you really not thinking clearly, Kirby. So he leaves, with these two people, and I'm like, oh boy. And then immediately after that, the assassins attack the Matrix, mountain home, and we see blood and guts. They kidnap his young daughter, Jenny. That's her name, Jenny. And while they're trying to intercept them, right? Matrix is, he kills some people, right, in the battle, and then I thought he was gonna throw his truck, but instead he throws his truck, gets into it so that he can drive through them. I was like, wow, this is peak '80s, okay. And he makes it there, but he gets overwhelmed by many people, and of course we get Bennett again. He's alive. What? He's alive? I was like, oh, okay. It was kind of obvious how he looked at Bill Duke early on. I was like, yeah, he's part of this plan. But nice try, movie. So he tranquilized, Matrix, and that now we know Bennett has fake his death. He's working with the bad guys and not working with the mercenaries because he wants revenge against Mictress because he took him out in the unit. Okay, makes sense. Nice motivation. And so Matrix, John is like taking in the kind of like the headquarters a little bit, and there he meets like Commander. And anyone can help me with this name. I had a tough time with this. Ares or something like that. A former South American dictator, played by another iconic actor. Let me pull him
Dan
up.
Hedaya.
Dan Hedaya, yeah. Of course, from Clueless. He's in Mulholland Drive. Great actor. He was in, of course, Blood Simple. Yes, a ton of stuff. And of course, speaking of Addams Family, he was in the first movie.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, as one of the Tully, as his name was, and tried to scam the Addams Family's money. And lastly, he was in like To Die For, the Cole Kidman movie. Very good movie. And so he's there as this like South American dictator who wants Mictress removed from power. Like he blackmails like Mictress to like carry out like
he wants me to take out the president that of some country or whatever.
Yeah, some country. By the way, this country was like a fictional country that Stephen E. D'Souza came up with. This is where Tim, you're right, or Tim and Chris, you brought up before. Like it's very comic booky. Like this first time I was like, wait a minute, I've ever heard this was Cuba or Mexico, and then when I remember, no, it was like a fictional country. And
Valverde.
Valverde. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yep, this is a comic book movie. This is fun. So, as Jeff said before, he needs to, take out this, president we don't know from this fictional country. And, if he does it, he will, release the daughter, right? As typical bad guy promise, right? But no. So, and then that's where we start. That's where the movie gets kicked in. So let me stop there. Let me start with you, Jeff, first. Like what you thought about the beginning of this sequence, up to him being captured and getting told by the bad guys to do the assassination. Go ahead, sir.
Oh well, the montage, the montages with the daughter Jenny and Arnold are great. There's some classic ones there. Him throwing him in the pool and all that. Like just watching him in some of those scenes is hilarious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I won't lie.
I'm feeding a deer.
Feeding the deer. It's funny. That montage is funny, dude. Some of it's kind of funny. There's this thing where they kiss in the movie like a couple times. Like they full on
like full on the lips,
like on the lips or whatever. Like it's like okay, you know what I'm saying? Like they're really getting deep for this shit, But no, they do a really great job starting off with that killing, with the garbage men killing right off the bat. How could you start off that? How can you start a movie off better than that? You know what I'm saying? Like
it gets your attention.
Really gets your attention, and then the plot unfolds from there. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting, and they, we get our introduction of Jenny and Art. We get we understand who Arnold is right off the bat. We figured him out. We know he's Matrix and all that shit. The chase scene in the woods where he has like the no brakes or whatever on his vehicle and he pushes it and goes down the hill. That's crazy. That's like some straight 80s like chase scene shit right there. You know what I'm saying? That's hardcore. Besides that, Bennett or whatever is great. As the villain or whatever, he's awesome. He's just like, I don't know if he's Australian or like what he is or whatever, but like,
he's American, I think.
Is he? Well,
hold on, let me double check. I think yes, he's Australian. Yeah, because Mad Max 2 is Australia movie. Sorry.
Yeah, he's Australia. That's what I thought. He's good. Yeah. It's it's a great introduction. Great. The introduction of Commando is really good. Really solid. It really sticks its landing. And really defines the characters right off the bat, kind of like lays it out for you, like what's going on, from there, it just really, like you said, that's where the movie really kind of catches fire is right off of the intro, So that's it, sir.
Thank you, Jeff. No. Tim, same question. What you thought about the sequence here up to Arnold getting captured and getting informed by the assassins to assassinate this fictional president from this fictional country. Sir, go ahead.
Well, for me, that opening sequence gave really strong vibes of the first John Wick movie. Just kind of, it's because much like that first John Wick movie, I mean, everybody wants to talk negatively about, there's not much to the script. It's just, but that's not the point when you watch these films, and you want to have a hero, you want to give them a reason to fight for. In this case, they took his daughter Jenny to do something, and it's off to the races at that particular point, because you can put your critic hat on and talk about how it wasn't totally clear how Bennett was able to survive, because at that boat scene, you saw the boat blow up, but you don't see any flashback later on about him escaping or anything like that. But it doesn't really need it. It's it's not that type of movie. I mean, if you talk about the shootout scene at the end, I mean, it's the type of movie to where the hero can just keep shooting the gun and not have to worry about reloading. So you're not having to worry about that. Like I was not a huge fan of Dan Hedaya's performance in this, because I felt he needed to chew the scenery a lot more. I think back to Once Upon a Time in Mexico, where Willem Dafoe played a similar character. And, we're talking Willem Dafoe, of course, but he knew what he had to do, and that's chew the scenery and just be over the top. And I felt I think it's Arias or something. I forgot how to pronounce the character's name too, but I felt it was a little more subdued. But that's a small critique at best, people, because it's not like he's the star of the movie anyway. He's the guy that gets the premise going. I think the best part is Arnold Schwarzenegger's relationship with his daughter, Matrix relationship with his daughter Jenny, because even though we can have fun and laugh at the scenes, I'm feeding a deer type of deal, there is a chemistry between those two, and I think Alyssa Milano is definitely one of the people that helped Schwarzenegger become better. If that makes sense too, because I think it was you, Andreas, who said that she definitely has a great history of being a great child actress and just an actress in general. So I was really blown away by that more than anything else.
Yeah, no, I agreed. I mean, as always, these villains are not as dimensional as we wish. But I mean, the fact that we have Bennett, the actor from Mad Max 2, is like, okay, we at least have one, like the henchman / sidekick is always the best to remember, because they're gonna be over the top, and he was. But yeah, no, I agree with your points, Tim. Yeah, there's a lot of nitpicks, but it's not that kind of movie. It's not John Wick, where like everything's on point. Chris, Chris, your thoughts on the sequence here up to Arnold being captured and getting explained what he needs to do.
I just follow along with that, but yeah, like you said, it's not a movie where you're gonna look for deep character moments in this film. You're not looking for that in this movie, but you get enough with the bad guys that you know what they're motivated. You know what Bennett, he's got the revenge, and then you got the president who just wants to take control over his country again. I will say, I mean, as cool as it was at the beginning where they're shooting all these people, now that I watch it again, I'm like, if this was Arnold's team, I think maybe Arnold did most of the work when they were all doing their special forces work, because these guys didn't pick up on any of the clues or anything. But again, it's a cool way to get you kind of into the movie, show you that these bad guys they're not fucking around. They're gonna shoot people right in the middle of the street or drive a car through a window, and they don't give a shit. So these are bad guys. Arnold's got to kick their ass. And then of course you see Arnold come through with his arms are like gigantic as my legs, carrying that big tree around, and it's just like, that's peak Arnold. I mean, he's just a massive muscle with two eyeballs walking around. I will say, when little Jenny, he's out there swinging that axe around, and she wants to surprise him. That's probably not a good thing to do with some ex-special forces guy. He might just, flip out and take out his daughter with the axe. Maybe that's why the deer was there. The deer was just terrified Arnold was going to rip his head off. I better eat all this food. But it's cheesy. Yes, I know you look back and it's corny and all that stuff, but it's cute how they get together. Alyssa Milano, like you said, at this point she was, I think, already one season into Who's the Boss, so she was a talented child actor. So Arnold could act with a child actor at this point. That's kudos to his skills. But they at least they form the bond to where when she gets taken, okay, this is it. This is what you've done fucked up now, because Arnold's gonna come get your ass and stick a big tube right through your chest. But yeah, it's a great setup. And then once we get, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but once Ray Dawn Chong comes in, it just feels like this movie just flies by.
No, I agree. Yeah. I was checking her stuff, and I was like, whoa, she's this daughter's person. Anyway, we'll get to that. Clarence, your thoughts on the beginning sequence, sir?
Yes, same like everybody else as far as that opening sequence goes, where you see his big arms, and I think like Terminator was the last thing I saw, and he was big in Terminator, but you really didn't see him because he had the leather jacket on and all that stuff, and you see him here, I'm like, whoa, Arnold's huge. And yeah, they really piled it on with the whole father-daughter thing, which was cool though. The I love my dad little heart on the refrigerator, and she's making the sandwiches, and that little discussion at the table. Why don't you call him, Girl George or whatever when he's at the table? And I'm like, oh, okay, they're having a nice little moment there. And the killings at the beginning when Bill Duke they shoot him, and then he walks up to him and shoots him some more. I'm like, wow, okay. I was like, this is crazy. And yeah, the car thing, which was funny, but yeah, Bennett. And what stuck out to me with Bennett, you knew he was the bad guy because of the outfit, right? I mean, the chain mail tank top he had on. I was like, he's the only one that's dressed like that. I'm like, okay, this is the bad guy right here. So, but yeah, it was a great setup. I mean, like I said, it's straightforward. They gave us, clear motivations, who was the bad guys and everything, and that's what it was.
Yes, thank you, Clarence. Yeah. I never knew the chains, but yeah, they're definitely telling he's the bad guy. But yeah, good job, guys. Yeah, beginning sequence was really good. I really enjoy it. I mean, I just like how simple it is. Like, okay, bam, bam, bam. Here's this.
Andre, you want me to play some Arnold clips? Is that what you want me to do?
Yeah, that one clip. Now we're right here. Yeah, this is my favorite part. Okay, it's looking like, okay, perfect. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now preparing for departure. Would you please make sure that all your carry-on luggage is safely stored in the overhead compartments?
Look at that 80s hair.
Yeah, I know. And look at Sully.
Cruising altitude, we're going to be serving our complimentary beverages, and then a little later on our dinner. Shortly after that, we'll be showing our feature film.
You can hear the neck.
Nobody else notices at all.
Like, even those two, they're like so.
That lady's passed out.
Yeah. I like he's putting the blanket and the hat. Perfect way to not tell he's dead.
Excuse me, how long is the flight?
We land in Val Verde in exactly 11 hours.
Thank you. And do me a favor. Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired.
Thank you. I had to do that. Oh God. I mean, when we get to the ending with the Sting on Bennett, this is the other one I always hear about. It's like he's dead tired. It's like, oh my God, that is so funny. Just after killing this man. Yeah, very great crit, love it. So let's get back to the movie. As you said before, we're the bad guys are taking Matrix into the airport to take to this fictional country, and obviously they're so stupid because he's a trained assassin. One of you guys brought it before. He literally did all the job compared to his teammates, right? This guy is big. He's very thorough. Like you saw the clip there. He knows that. Like, he's asked the lady how many hours is this plane? It's like 11 hours, and it's like, wow. Best hero ever. Like, I never seen that before. Like, even John Wick does that. Like occasionally, he knows how to do crazy. So they're in the airport. By the way, we saw briefly Sully, another bad guy, another iconic actor, David Patrick Kelly,
Yep.
who was in the iconic cult film, one of my favorite, my dad's favorite, The Warriors. And he was in other films like Malcolm X, of course. Famous in 48 Hours. He's also in The Crow, one of
Yep.
the other like hooligans. Of course, me and Jeff did review that last year for his 30th anniversary. Very iconic actor, a really really iconic voice, actor. And so you see here he's like escorting Arnold, John to the airport to get to this fictional country that he has to do to assassinate this president, right? And there he obviously before he leaves, he talks to Bennett. Bennett is in the car with Cookie, who's played by Bill Duke, and he say, like, I will come after you. I will be back. Whatever he said, like the fact that I never knew that he actually said that iconic line. I will be back. The iconic Terminator line he say. If I don't know how many lines he say that. I saw Raw Deal recently. I don't think he says it there, but he does say it in Running Man.
Yep.
If anyone's seen that, he say that towards the host. That is probably the best one because just the way the showrunner replies to him, it's like, yeah, sure. After the commercials or whatever he say, but long time
Only in the reruns.
Yes. Oh my god, that was
Only in the reruns. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So so Sully, is there. He's gonna have his, he's the death mark now. After Arnold's gonna escape, right? So he's gonna see the plane like leaving. So he does, and as you see the clip, he waits until the doors close. He kills the guy. We get the iconic line, "Dead tire." He goes to the back, right, and then he escapes. And so Sully leaves, and so he like walks back, like he jumps to this like big lake, right? Goes back to the airport. He sees Sully, calling, confirming that okay, everything's there. At this time, we see he times his clock to 11 hours. He knows like how much time he gets to like get himself prepped, right? So after that, so he sets out after all the henchmen. So like starting with Sully, so he enlists the aid of the off-duty flight attendant named Cindy. So we get introduced to Cindy here. She's talking on the phone. Sully hits on her, and very creepy as well. By the way, this actress, yeah, very creepy. Like typical
Yes.
like 80s themes.
He's
Like
not subtle at all.
yeah, not subtle. Like
Not at all.
I'm sorry, but not subtle at all. But like yeah, it's such a douche. Like a very douchebag.
Yes.
Typical 80s. Guy. As usual with these bad guys. Just fun trivia with Cindy. Ray Dawn Chan, American actress. She's actually the daughter of comedian and actor Tommy Chan. I never knew that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's kind of crazy. And other films she's in, like Soul Man, very
Ooh.
impressionable movie. Uh,
Let's not talk about that one.
yeah, don't talk about that one.
A little problematic today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, probably.
Just a tad.
Yeah, maybe I should have said that for last, but like other movies she's in, Color Purple, the classic Steven Spielberg version from 1985, that same year, and Principal, another classic film I like from the 80s, and then lastly, the Tales from the Dark Side. So anyway, so we see her, we introduce her, and at first, she just, like we call it, they put slough off Sully a little bit, and obviously John sees Sully harass her, and so she kind of instructs her to follow Sully to the shopping mall. We get to a very very crazy scene, like very funny scene as well. Like he takes out the chair out of the car, which was funny. I was like, what the hell? Like you can easily just put it back and like still sit in it. Like
Exactly.
I was like, what are you doing, John? And so they follow, and she asks kind of like a lot of questions, and about who he is. He's an army, person, and yada yada yada. And then when they get to the shopping mall, he asks her to like go in and like try to maybe like lure him out to like the parking lot, right? But of course, typical, the victim thinks she's like being hostage because John didn't explain. Well, he does explain that his daughter's in trouble, right? You think that will make her be sympathetic, towards him, right, and help, right? No, she does the stupid thing, alerting the cops in the mall. This part I didn't remember, so this is the first I was like, oh come on, don't do this 80s trope, and it did. So the guy alerts other cops. This guy was funny. He's like, Chechen, we got this one mean tall motherfucker. I was like, what? When you say that, I was like, wow, very funny. And Sully sees her, after doing this like shady exchange of like these passports, and he obviously gives the money to this shady guy, and sees her. He starts to hit up again, but then he sees John. Really bad news. So he aggressively goes into her purse and get some coin to call the person. And this scene is crazy. Great action scene in the mall, really spectacular. Like, I really like the stunts here. I mean, seeing Arnold taking down a bunch of cops is like hilarious. Like, they're overpowered by this guy. And then you get the scene where he carries the phone, like this phone booth of Sully, and like grabs it down to the floor, like wrestling like style. And I was like, wow, that is like huge. So so obviously after that scene, like, he's trying to escape, and you see, Arnold doing the, Tarzan style, like jumps into the elevator, the top of the elevator, and then they go out the airport, outside, right? And then they get into their cars, and we get like the cool chase thing. And I'm trying to think here. Yeah, I don't have the clip here, but like, obviously he gets Sully, he's subdued. He gets a motel key from Sully's jacket, and then he has him grab on his leg, and we get another kind of scene that I remember from this. And he say, obviously he replies, Sully, do you remember that I'm gonna kill you last? And he's like, yeah, I lie, and he drops him down, which is so perfect. Another iconic like scene from this movie that I remember fondly, as all we do. And after that, we also get a great pun. Cindy asks like, "What happened to Sully?" And it's like, "I dropped him off," or something like that.
I let him go.
I let him go. I let him go.
There it is.
Thank you. I let him go, and then we drop off to the motel. This is where we meet Cookie again, of course, played by Bill Duke. Another great scene where they fight each other. During the dialogue, we get information about him, which is cool. He's like a former Green Beret in the army.
Right.
Beret. Oh, okay. Please explain that. I'm not really familiar with that. So he kind of explained what role he was in the military. So they fight after the the conversation. By the way, we do see some nudity here, Jeff. I just want to let you know that. Like to.
Oh, that's right. There is nudity.
Yeah.
Quick. It was quick.
It was quick. Like, these two were fighting, and they go into this other room, weirdly, and like we see these two people having sex. Obviously, I mean, and I don't know, they were taping themselves having sex. I don't know.
It looked like that's what they were doing.
That's what it looked like. Yeah.
Oh my god, I was like, I cannot believe we did that. But anyway, I mean, it's the 80s. We always see that. But anyway, crazy movies these days. Back then, and unfortunately, before Matrix impales Cookie on the table leg, and he tried to interrogate Cookie, but Cookie gets impaled by one of the like table legs, so he dies very quickly before he knows anything about his daughter's whereabouts. So let me stop there. Let me start with you, Chris. What you thought about this sequence of the airport up to Arnold, John, kicking the butt of Cookie, played by Bill Duke.
Well, like I said, this is where I feel like the movie really finds its groove, because you start to get really with your favorite line there, where you don't wake my friend, he's dead tired. You at this point, you know what kind of movie you're in for, right? If you're even remotely taking this movie serious up to this point, okay, this is just gonna be a fun ride. Arnold's gonna be crazy over the top. So that sets that up. I feel a bit bad. I did read a few behind the scenes things with him, and I felt bad because Arnold's so big. They didn't have a really good stunt double for him, so he had to do a lot of his own stunts. He went to the hospital a couple times, and you could tell when he's jumping off of things. He's like, "Oh, poor Arnold." It must be tough to be that big. But anyway, and I mentioned earlier when Cindy Ray Dawn Chong comes in, I think she just adds this whole energy to the film and the way they two play off each other, because she's over the top, and she really is us. She's the audience, because she's reacting to all this crazy shit in the way we would. We like, what the fuck's going on? And he just sits there, no. Every time she asks a question, he goes, no, and just keeps on going. But yeah, and then Sully, he's like you said, he's just a piece of shit, right? Oh my god, when he starts talking about, gonna have a little more extra time with your daughter, you're like, oh yeah, you're gonna die. So the whole mall scene was a lot of fun. Like you said, all the security guards, that one guy's like, oh yeah, man, we're gonna kick his ass. And then they would see him and they're like, oh shit, that's one giant motherfucker. And he just beats them all up, throws Sully around. The car chase was a lot of fun. Although again, it's goofy. Like, they hit the side of the car so many times. Then when he flips it over at the end and drives away, it's the perfect Porsche. It was like and then when they run into the telephone pole, they're both like, oh, we're all right. They get out of the car. But yeah, and he holds Sully over the cliff. I like that part. And one of my favorite parts, I know it's the famous one, is when he goes, I lied, but I like when he first holds him up and he's like, this is my weak arm, Sully. Yeah, and it always. Yeah, I also read something where they asked Arnold if he would really dangle that actor over the ledge without anything, and Arnold's like, oh, y'all are crazy, I'm not doing that. But there's a lot of energy, a lot of comedic stuff between Arnold and Ray Dawn Chong, so you're really having a lot of fun. And then there's the big fight with Bill Duke. That's, again, it's just fun, it's just goofy. And it's that kind of movie where you're in your head, you're like, yeah, this is kind of goofy and dumb, but I'm having so much fun with this story and this cast, and yeah, I'm gonna let some of the shit I would normally criticize slide, and I'm just gonna sit back and have a good time. So it's all a great lead up towards that last third of the movie where it just goes off the rails violently.
No, thank you, Chris. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, I totally forgot about that line. Yeah, this is my weak arm. I was like, really? It's like, you're totally fine with it. You're that guy. But yeah, Clarence, your turn. What you thought about the sequence? And up to him killing Bill Duke, sir.
Yeah, really. Yeah, like Chris was saying. Yeah, really kind of sets the tone once everything starts kicking off. The part that I liked, when they're in the airport and he's like, no, not that part. No, let me go back. No, on the plane. When they're on the plane and, he goes down through the baggage and all carry and all that stuff and like rips it open and gets on the wheel of the airplane and I was like, well, how is he going to get out of this? As a little kid, you're watching it, you're like, wow. And then I'm watching it today and I'm like, wow, okay. And they drop and he's like so high up, it looks like he falls down there. That's incredible. I was like, wow, okay. And yeah, the sound effects too with the watch, thought it was kind of weird with the beep. It was like super loud. Yeah. We were setting the watch time and things. But I was like, just little things like that you don't notice, but you kind of like say let things go. And there's just an amazing amount of security at this mall. I was like, look at all of these security guards. And then, not to get too far ahead, there's a later scene where there's like one or two cops show up and he's breaking into a gun store. But in this mall, there's like 30 cops that are like surround him there. I was like, it's insane. Oh, but one little thing I want to add before I close. I did read that phone booth scene. That actually he did pick that up. It was 270 pounds, and the stunt actor inside was 130. And so he just basically picked up and flipped over his shoulder 400 pounds like it was nothing. So that was kind of crazy. And yeah, the end scene with the car chase. Yeah, I just like that. Yeah, same. We've already gone over it. Yeah, that one liner, my weak arm, I lied. It's so great. And she's standing there like, she said, what do you mean what happened to him? You're standing right there watching what happened. Why are you asking him what happened? but yeah, it's a great scene, and they go to the hotel after that with the Bill Duke fight. And it was it an adjoining room? Is that why they were able to go in that room and see what was going on? Or
yeah, it was a drawing room because the door, like they hit a door to the next.
Yeah, it went through.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was
Okay.
like, yeah. But it's still weird. But well, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it could happen during that time.
It was the
but-
80s.
I
We needed
guess
some boobs in
it's
this
possible.
movie at some
Yes.
point.
You had to have some. You had to have at least a flash at some
It's
point.
got to be somewhere.
Yeah. No, Clarence. I like you. You brought up the was it the phone booth, because apparently he it was confirmed when he was interviewed by Gene Siskel, if anyone knows from the Siskel and the report.
Siskel and Ebert.
Yes, thank you, the Siskel and Ebert time, and he explained that, and I was like, oh yeah, he did brought it up, and I just want to bring that up. That he said that, and his last quote, he responded because he asked if he could lift 400 pounds, and he said, yeah, sure. I mean, God had me lifting my whole life, so it's no problem. He like quote that to him. So I just want to bring that up. Tim, you're next, sir. What you thought about the sequence up to him killing poor Bill Duke? But I mean, he didn't die horribly from the Predator, sir. But but go ahead.
Yeah, he got the point. Anyway.
Well done.
Yeah, definitely a great sequence here. I think the Sully character, you can critique it maybe that he was a little too much of a slime ball when he was hitting on Ray Donchong, but also we live in a world of incels too, so I could easily see somebody not taking any sort of a hint that their actions were creepy. And also to the fact that of course, once she firmly says no, get out of my way, I'm not gonna have anything to do with you, his response, whore. Okay, great guy. Definitely deserved his fate in the end there. Schwarzenegger falling from the plane was funny because, he's wearing a suit jacket along with just like a regular shirt, and then after he comes out of the water, the suit jacket is mostly dry. You would think if he would have completely submerged, but that gives off vibes of Bonds taking off the scuba gear and Goldfinger. And having the the tux underneath, and just the whole mall scene. I definitely agree that there were too many security guards there. They didn't have iPhones back then, so maybe they had something. Maybe the Atari was on sale and they needed an armed armada or something. But also too, like one thing that did kind of throw me was the fact that you had one of the security guards or an off-duty cop or somebody like that pull out a gun in the mall with all of those people that were there. Even in the 80s, it was set in Los Angeles, so I don't know. But,
that's true.
But I just don't see a cop opening fire with that many innocent people running around, for a situation like that. But again, to be clear, minor nitpick there. Overall, great sequence, and I think Ray Dunn does a great job of, I think someone mentioned it already, being us, being our entry into that world, similar to like the Doctor Who and Doctor Who's companions.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
No, yeah, she's definitely the Iron's like ears and eyes of this situation. Like she had some moments where she's like very like meta. I don't want to jump forward, but when they get to the airplane they're gonna take, she comments like, "Wow, you're very aggressive." When you take out his, when I heard that, I was like, "What are you doing?" Of course, yes. He's a bad guy. Like these are bad guys. Like anyway, I had a biggest laugh at that point. I was like, wow, she's definitely the audience. Like, and I just had like no shameless. And speaking of the mall, all you guys brought up before, very weird. Multiple cops in the mall. Like, okay, I'm very happy they're safe, right? But I agree with you, Tim. Very dangerous to pull the gun. But we need blood and bunch of bodies in the ground, so we have that woohoo, yay, action movie. And but the one thing that really bothers me is like, well, you want to take out Arnold, use a taser, right? Like that's the most like obviously thing to do when you have the situation. I was just thinking just now, I was like, wait a minute, they could easily tase this guy, and like the Running Man was smart did this. Like the Running Man, when he was trying to escape again after being, like escape from the prison, like
Right.
he's in that airport, like same thing, airport sequence, and like he gets chased by one of the cops. But anyway, yeah, but it's crazy. Jeff, sir, what you thought about this sequence up to Bill Duke getting killed by the table lake, sir?
Well, it's all about Arnold and Cindy's rapport. It's so great. You know what I mean? They have such great banter, like right off the bat. She's great. She services that role really well. Ray Dawn Chung, as Cindy, she's really good. And all the henchmen work well in the movie. Like all the bad guys are good. You know what I mean? They have solid actors playing the roles. So that they all work. The mall scenes are interesting. Like watching Arnold fight all the cops and all that. Like it's all cool. It keeps the movie going. I liked watching him get off that plane when he falls off the plane.
Yeah.
Like that was pretty dope. I like that part. He like his hair is all like straightened out too. Like not only are his clothes straight, but like his hair is all like straightened out and like gelled up and shit too. Like all of a sudden, like I don't know how that happened, but no. So no, it's a really good sequence. You can't blame Cindy for calling getting the cops involved with Arnold Matrix in the movie. He is kind of like being kind of stalkerish a little bit, but this is a solid part of the film. It's good, good. It's a good part of the buildup. Overall, at the same time, you still have the scenes where they cut out, throughout this part, and you still will see Jenny every once in a while. They'll go back to Bennett and like Jenny and all that. You know what I mean? They'll kind of do a little bit of that too. So that's there. So that's it, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. I think Cindy is a really good character. We watching this film again. I thought like her character really helps to kind of ground the film a little bit with these crazy, action buffy things. And as we were speaking before, Arnold is not a good actor, but when he's with like a cold person, it really works. And I thought this really works because he does shine as a person. Like
this is really well written. For what it is, it's well written, I think.
Yeah, and one of the things I like about this, and something I think what makes it a classic is that it doesn't have meat. Like it has very streamlined like story that we understand. But they're very good at like forming us, not in a very aggressive way, like a lot of these layer movies have done, which is so annoying. I just like, okay, here's the point, bam, 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 we get it. Here's this, we have some, low time. We also get back to the action. Like the pacing in this film is really good, and I always enjoyed that because sometimes some action films don't balance that correctly.
Yeah.
Just wrapping up. I just want to bring up the country again because this is something I forgot. This country was the same thing that was in Die Hard 2. That's kind of funny. And then apparently this is the same thing in Predator when they go to that like country, the jungle is in the same. So we're having a shared universe here. I just gone into this rabbit hole of like this Vel Verde, and of course is a real Latin. Like it's supposed to be representing the Latin American country, so I just had to bring this up. So anyway, shared universe. Commando, Predator, and Die Hard are in the same universe.
They're all in the same universe.
Yeah, same universe. Anyway, so good job, guys. I hope you guys enjoying this. This is really good. So let's get it back to it. Basically, we are entering the final act here, as we say before, as Jeff bringing up before. Like it's a very short film, not a lot of meat, which is good because we don't need that for action film because it could easily make it really bad. But thank goodness it's not. So we go back to our main protagonists, both of them, Matrix and Cindy, right? After they kind of like look around in Bill Duke's car, right? They found something that she recognized that's like I think related to the airplane, as we know that she's like someone can bring it up here. Like I think Cindy was like a pilot, like a working pilot right now. She's just getting her license, right?
Yes, train.
Trained, yes. Yeah,
Mhm.
I have my notes here, but it's just a lot. Yeah, a off-duty flight attendant. She was, that is training, right? And they go into this like warehouse that's owned by the bad guy that supplies the weapons for his army. And there they learn where Jenny is being held, and it's in the island base of of the map of the coastal region. So get that. Then after this, this is where I'm going to wrap up because we wanted to say the big one for last, because it's going to be big. So after they learn the location here, yeah, learning the location here of where Jenny is at, his daughter, Matrix breaks into the surplus store to equip himself with military weaponry. And very cool scene. I always dug when every hero or bad guy or whatever like gets guns. Like I always like those scenes when they collect the guns and like get ready. Like it's always, I don't know. It's always cool, right? To see them do that. And this is no like this is one of those iconic ones. And you see like all the different weapons, and obviously we get the bazooka. Or bazooka. Someone can correct me, but I'm not a weaponsmith.
Rocket launcher.
Rocket launcher.
Yeah,
Thank
we'll go with
you.
that.
I'm sorry. Oh god, I knew it. It was a rocket launcher. But anyway, yeah, rocket launcher. But before he could get more weapons, he gets arrested by the police by two cops. Like, can he easily like? I'm sorry. I was like, I was laughing. It's like two cops, and then after we see him get arrested, there's more cops there, and it's like, what are you doing? This is pretty old, man. Like, you know how dangerous he is from the mole. And like, anyway, he gets arrested. Obviously, we see him trying to convince the two cops about his role as a army and about Kirby. By the way, with Major Kirby, we do see his superior in this kind of like clips after what John has done. Like we saw after the attack of his house in California, he like sees what happened. He sees that John's alive, and then we see him again after he gets escaped from this like prison van, and he said like, I know what John's doing, something like that. So anyway, so after getting arrested and failed to convince the two police to like let him go, Cindy helps him escape, and then after they get out, after arriving to a seaplant nearby, like a control marine, and so this is where we get the cameo of Bill Paxton, as Jeff brought up before, as the intercept officer. When I saw that, I was like freaking out. I was like, "Oh my god, Bill Paxton!" I was like, it made a big smile on my face, and then I brought up before the joke about her like make a comment like after he punched the guy who was like guarding the seaplane. And it's like, wow, you're really hitting these people very aggressively. And I'm like, yeah, of course, to knock him out. So let me stop there. Let me start with Tim. Tim, what you thought about this section of, of the two protagonists finding out where Jenny's at, getting weapons to like attack the base, and then the end point is when they get the plane and we saw the Bill Paxton cameo. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helped the story that that Cindy was learning how to fly. Very very convenient there. I mean, if you picked an older person, maybe that wouldn't have necessarily happened. But definitely, it did its job. Let's put it that way. I thought one part of that was kind of interesting, but was the scene where he's arrested. Matrix is in the back of the cop car, and then Cindy drives up in a car like next to the cops, and then the cops like look at her, and then he turns to the other cop and goes, "Hooker." She gets treated so bad by everybody.
I know it
in that movie, except for Matrix. It's yeah, like and also to the equipping stuff. No 80s action movie would be considered good without that, you know, because I mean it gives me flashbacks to like Ash from the Evil Dead movies, you know, putting everything on and then at the end groovy, you know. It's like you know you are getting ready to rock at that point. And you know, I think to the point of the film being fast paced, like you could put on the critic hat and say, you know, you could stretch things out just a little bit, but would it really have helped? I don't think it would have. I think this is just a type of movie to where you need to get the good guy to the place where he needs to go as quickly as possible to start blowing stuff up, because that's what we paid for. This is a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
You know, good point, Tim. Yeah, I appreciate, like, I know the watch is kind of goofy, but I like every time we cut back. I appreciate they didn't forget about that. So it just tells us like he's on like a mission, which is good. You know, it's like he's being Terminator again, but he's being an actual hero. Clarence, what you thought about this sequence up to them getting to play and then seeing the Bill Paxton cameo?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's fast paced, but they do slow down just a little bit for the investigation piece, whatever you know you want to call that. You know, since they search the car and immediately, oh, here's where somebody gets their fuel, and she just so happens to be a pilot, and she knows exactly where how much fuel it takes to go from here to there, and it must be here, and they're on the map, and they're doing all that stuff. So I'm like, oh, okay. You know, my little kid mind, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'm watching it now. I'm like, yeah, okay. A little bit convenient, but no, yeah, I like that piece of it. And yeah, the part, you know, right up to going to the equipment sequence. Yeah, you always need that scene where, yeah, you're gearing up with all the equipment and getting the gear and getting ready. And, you know, he knew there was a back room with the good in there for some reason. He knew that was back there, so that was cool. And it was funny that she's like right outside the gun store, and the cops don't even, you know, she's just sitting there with the, you know, convertible, bunch of guns, and they're going to get Arnold, and she's just sitting there watching, and they don't question her or say anything, why are you here or whatever. But yeah, and I always thought it was funny with the rocket launcher, because she shot, you know, the huge, I mean, I figured she would like kill him maybe, because we see, you know, later. But yeah, it was kind of cool with, you know, she breaks him out of the police custody with the two police officers that were left for whatever reason. The only, you know, couple showed up. So it was cool. So now we're off, you know, to get Jenny back. So yeah, like I said, like Tim was saying, it did its job. It got us to where we needed to go. So yeah, I'm ready for that big third act now.
Yeah, I agree. Jeff, any thoughts on this sequence up to the plane and Bill Paxton cameo, sir?
I mean, a Bill Paxton cameo is always great to see. You know, I'd forgotten about that, to be honest with you, so I was really surprised to see that when I did my rewatch tonight. I was like, wow, Bill Paxton, you know? So, like, that was awesome. But, no, I don't want to retread the territory everybody else has already, you know, went. But, no, this is the bridge of the film, you know, the kind of the build-up, you know what I mean? And like I mentioned earlier, you know, in the studio or whatever, the gun scene where he goes in the gun store is something that when I was a kid really affected me deeply. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like seeing all those guns on the walls, all that shit, like it just looks so cool, you know? Like being able to just pick whatever you wanted and put it on the cart, you know? I mean, I don't know. There was some good stuff in that room, man. Like you know, like Clarence said, somehow Arnold knew how to get in there. He knew that room was there. You know what I'm saying? You know, like it just works. In Commando, that's how shit just works for Arnold. You know,
that's
like,
right.
it just goes his way. When they go to that, like I don't know, factory or whatever it is or whatever, where there's all the equipment and like weapons and all that shit, and like they figure out where the island is and all that shit, like that kind of drags a little bit, like that like why does he have to bring the chick in there with him? You know what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't that be dangerous, kind of? You know, like they're just hanging out in his office. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody can walk in at any given time. You know what I mean? And they're just hanging out there, you know? It's kind of intense. You know what I'm saying? It really is. But you know, but he's got to get her in there. You know, like they got to have that scene where they're both in there together, and
Yep.
he opens the
Yep.
window for her and all that. That she comes in, you know, and how they got out, I don't know. Like they didn't show us that part. You know what I'm saying? They just skip jumped over that. You know what I mean? You know. Because they would have had to walk out or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, Arnold couldn't go through that window, you know what I mean? So, like...
He probably just ripped a hole in the wall and walked out.
God.
Probably. It's very possible.
Yeah, or he teleported.
That's all I got, sir.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, question. So, yeah, speaking of so I was just thinking that... clear this up. So that store wasn't like a example, the Terminator, the first one, where he was actually in a gun store where he was getting his weapons. This one was like a store, but like it was undercover to have weapons. Like that's what it was. Like, explain to me. Like I thought
it was a gun store. It was a gun store that had like a back room like to it. You know what I'm saying? With, like all the exotic guns. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
I think they did refer to it as an army surplus store in the movie,
Right.
So which I think is leading to this, because like if you go to any army surplus store in the country, they're not going to have weaponry like that, even in the back room. It's just more like army jackets or stuff like that. So that was more for just the movie itself. You needed a place to go to get all the weapons, and it is what it is. It served its purpose. Even though you can critique it.
No, I just was asking you guys about it because I was like, because I mean we have gun stores, so I don't know why you could have just gone like it was just, I felt this was over the top. It's like, okay, we need to go to the surplus army. Like it reminds me of this movie. I don't know, you guys seen this like awful.
Where did the bulldozer come from?
Yeah, that's true.
Where do you get the bulldozer from?
I don't know. I think
next door.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Next door.
Yeah, you get it next door, or it was like right there in the street. It's like, oh look, a tracker. We should use it to smash.
And the keys are in it. Yeah.
The keys are like just like Terminator 2. Like, oh,
yeah,
let it learn. But yeah, that was very funny. I was like, what the hell? Like, okay, so like it was just basically just over the top. Like as you were saying for Tim, it's just like Arnold, like he needs it, it's convenient. And I agree with you, Jeff. It was funny. We had to have this lady to explain this like air thing. It's like he's an army person. He should know that, right? He knows coronas. Like I don't know. Again, 80s movie. Chris, your thoughts on this sequence? You like it? Do you like the Bill Paxton cameo?
Well, I mean, it's gonna be hard not to repeat a few things, but yeah, I mean, at that point, again, watching it now that I'm old, and she goes, "I'm trained to be a pilot." In my brain, I'm like, "Of course she is. Why would she not be?" But you know what? This is that type of movie. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just gonna go along for the ride. She knows how much fuel it takes. Fine. She knows the exact picture of the exact plane. Fine. I'm with it. Where I know where we're going. Let's just have a good time with it. The store, that was pretty funny. I like that he grabbed, for some reason, it always catches my attention. He grabs some like scuba flippers off of the camera. Why did he grab all the shit? He grabs that. But I like when she shoots the rocket backwards. I always thought that was a nice little touch there. Then of course, they fly out of there, and then Arnold punches the plane to get it started, which is classic. That comes from Empire Strikes Back. But great scene. And then you get Bill Paxton, which is always a way, the exclamation point on the scene. He even does like that. We lost him, sir. And he's got that kind of country break in his voice. I'm like, Bill Paxton, why did you take you so young? We needed you around for a few more years. But it's a great lead up to the mayhem that is to come.
Which, not further ado, let's get into it, folks. All right, after we, our heroes get to the plane, apparently they disappear, the radar of the army and all that. And after they land like near the island, right? They don't want to get tipped by the the army and all that. They this time we see like the was it the bad guys talking, either not to kill the daughter, right? Stuff like that. Also, we get to know about Bennett and his obsession of John, which is hilarious. And by the way, this director, I just want to put up this before, like, this is a very important part because it just explains how good this villain is. Apparently, he was Vern Wells, who's from Mad Max 2, who's playing the Bennett character. The director said this was his first choice as this character, mostly because of the role he did in Mad Max 2, right? And you say he was the only one that played against him, Arnold, and he referred as that Bennett is in love with Matrix, but he hates him too. And then he said he wanted to kill him, but he's in love with him. So he's like the first bad guy that's in love with the hero, but he really hates him because what he did to him was dirty. Okay, all right. So we get like why he hates like you see he is in love with John for some bizarre reason. But anyway, that was a weird quote from the director there. So anyway, so that's why he's I mean, we get we understand that Bennett, like, he's so pissed off because he was let go from the unit. I was like, why are you so angry because of that? Like, you could easily gone with other armies after that. But anyway, so anyway,
he wanted
it's
to be in the friend group. They kicked him out of the friend group. Come on. They hurt his feelings.
I mean, I know, but if I was in any friend group, I was like, goodbye. I go to another friend group that could be better and much cooler, right? Like you're in this fictional country with this fictional army that are way badass and have art, like, cool army. But anyway, I don't know, Bennett. You're a little off your rocker here. Anyway, so oh, I actually have a clip here. Jeff, can you pull up this one, the third and last one where we see Arnold getting ready? During this scene, we see like Arnold getting ready, get like his like army makeup and like his like gear that we're gonna see and the weapons. Really cool scene. I just pulled up. I'm saving one thing for last that is really good. But yeah, so he's getting
Matrix.
Not that one.
Payday. Why don't you have Bennett do it?
He enjoyed killing you too much.
Your training.
Actually,
Matrix. I'll be back, Bennett.
Damn.
Bennett. It's party. I'm gonna kill you now!
Is that it?
There should be more, but towards the end there's the Steam theme. But yes, but we'll get back to that. Good example. I'll be back. I was surprised by that, so I'm happy that was there. Anyway, so what do you say? Where I'm at right now? Oh yeah,
Pronouns are they, them, or at least that's what I share with people most often. But for this particular meeting, I will come out fully.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, folks. We're safe. We're safe people around here.
That was an accident.
Yeah, that was an accident. That was just something we did last week. We do care about.
Can I have a popsicle? No, honey, you'll spoil it.
Hey parents, tired of those out-of-control kids? Throwing embarrassing tantrums wherever they go. At the grocery store, on the playground, even at the dinner table. You've had it with parenting, but wait, there is a solution. Introducing Nap Time, the latest, most effective tool for child tantrum prevention. It's simple. Just douse a rag with our patented Sleepy Time formula, place it over your child's cry hole, press and hold gently for 8 to 12 seconds, and presto, no more tantrum.
I was beginning to think adoption was the only way out. Then a friend of mine introduced me to Nap Time. It's never been so quiet around here.
Okay, that was intentionally us doing that. That was in the script. Anyway, thank you, Jeff. Oh my God, that was funny. Yes, I definitely do that if I have kids. I'm gonna have to now. Anyway, don't listen to me, folks, but I'm gonna do it for my kids. They're gonna be crazy.
It's called NyQuil, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's true. I can use NyQuil. But anyway, let's get back to that. Like, awesome action scene here. So Arnold like sets up the bombs around like the area, and like he gets, by the way, this is a cool scene. He sneaks up to these guys. He slashed the guy's like throat, and then he does like I don't know if you guys are Daredevil fans, but like he does bullseye, like he just randomly throws the knives at these people, like from the neck into the chest. I was like, whoa, like crazy. And then of course they see him and they start shooting. We get this like crazy massacre, like just him using the various guns that he has brought in. He sets up the bomb, and like the huge explosion, biggest one, like two big buildings get completely destroyed by that explosion. And obviously the general and Bennett get confirmation that he didn't land. He was not in the airplane. So like Bennett goes to get the child, but the child escaped because while she was in her like confine, she's finding a way to like escape. So she took her a while to like get out from it. So she goes down to like this like random like steam pipe area of the house, and Bennett like follows her, and then we see like the glorious, Arnold doing his stick, Terminator style of like just bull like bulldozing the whole army here, like one by one, like in a video game, like as you say, for no like all ammunition's there, like he hasn't run out of it, like well, sort of like towards the end ish, right? But no, like he's very creative. Like after that, he gets like he has a shotgun. He gets blown up one point. He goes to a shed, and then this shocked me. This is where I was like, "What the hell?" He used a rack to hit the guy. He used a shed like the sticks, like I don't know, these blade things, like almost like Predator. Like he throws one and hits him in the head. I was like, "Whoa!" And then he chops. And I don't know, you were laughing or I was like, "Whoa!" Like, the guy with the arm is like, "Ah!" Oh my god, this scared me. I was like, oh my god, dude, just die. Like we were like spending so much time on this guy. I was like, oh my god. So man, I'm great, and he gets this big gun here, and I don't know what you call it. This is the gun.
The M16. He gets the M16 with the with the bullets.
The bullets, very iconic thing you do. Arnold is great in that. You see it, it's glorious. See every freaking army dropping down to the ground, like so funny. It's almost like potato, like I don't know, like falling birds coming down so quickly. I don't know what that means, but everybody's it's going down like crazy. Then after that, he goes into the house. He kills the general like easy peasy with the shotgun, like multiple times, overkill basically. And then like nonchalant, like the guy just gets killed. Bennett captures the daughter. What is it? I think Arnold hears the kid's name saying dad, and so he follows. Like I don't know how he knows that.
I know. I don't know where that sound comes from.
I don't know, like how that part made me laugh. I was like, okay, he goes down. I was like, how do you know she's there? Like anyway, so he knows his daughter's down there. So like he goes down there, he sees her being captured by Bennett, and then we get this very funny thing. Like you know how I tease Jeff, like how Jeff finally pushed my buttons, or vice versa, I push Jeff's buttons, right? Just the comedic relief, play our our jokes and all that in the show, right? Basically that's what Arnold's doing. He's pushing Bennett's buttons. Is like, come on, dude, you don't need this weapon, you don't need this kid, fight me as a man. I'm like, oh, okay. And like you don't need the gun. And then as you saw previously from the clip, the guy went crazy. He's like, I don't need this gun, I don't need this kid. And he went berserk and has this knife, is like, I'm gonna kill you. And then we see this crazy it's like, and then he starts to tease him as well. He's like, you're getting too old, John, you're getting too old. And it's like, he's not old, he's like good to you.
Exactly.
I just laughed so hard. I was like, just teasing him, like, you're getting too old, try like mind fucking him a little bit. I'm like, okay, that's gonna work. He almost beat him to the pulp, but then of course Arnold, being the hero here, right? He beats him up. First up, I totally forgot about this. He throws him into this electricity thing, the power thing, right? You think that was supposed to kill him, and no, he actually made it alive. I was like, whoa, he is a zombie, or I don't know, superpower being or something like that. So okay, he survived that. I was like, okay. And then obviously of course he was it Arnold starts doing this push here and there, like to his face, like very cutty thing. As I think Clarence, you brought up before, some of you guys brought up before, he had like a surgery, like he was getting hurt a little bit because he didn't have like a stun like a good stunt double at that
Yeah.
time. So you see a little bit this editing. It's like okay, and then obviously Bennett has the gun, and he's like, "I'm gonna kill you, not at your face, by I don't know what area of the body, but whatever." But then, then
He's gonna shoot him between the balls, I believe.
There
he said.
it was.
yes,
That's the one.
yeah, yes,
That's the one.
I was gonna say I'm gonna shoot you in the dick or your chest. I was like, yeah, the balls is correct. So he's gonna shoot him in the balls. Before he does that, folks, he pulls up the pipe and then he throws it like it's like a like you know like those marathons like the like whoa. He does it to Bennett and he gets killed like that. And funny gag, you see the steam coming out from the pipe. And then Jeff, could you put that like clip? I think it has that scene where he
I'm not playing that clip again, sir. He says.
Steve. I would say the take some steam.
Let off
Bennett.
some steam, Bennett.
Let off some steam, Bennett.
Yes, the most iconic line from this movie. The one I'm like, wow, that's the best line from Arnold. Like one of the most pumping lines ever. So, and that's it. That's how the movie ends. Like all the bad guys are dead, basically. Like gunned down, murdered. Who cares? Like everyone died. That's our enjoyment, right? So Matrix gets his daughter, very sweet, and Kirby arrives. Like, okay, like he didn't need you, basically. Like I don't know why he needed to call Kirby to come to this location. Like he didn't need help. This guy literally took down a whole island, basically, and the nerve of Kirby saying like, "Hey, I want you to come back one last time for like a job or something like that." And he's like, not a chance. It's like, yeah, like why? Like he did your job for you. You're doing a softly job. Like you let down 4 men from the beginning to die, and you did a poor job of like protecting John's family by having 2 people, not a whole fucking army, 2 people, and they literally died there at the beginning. And Kirby, you were the worst person running the military. So sorry, I mean I just had to say that. So yeah, that's why he's trying to beg Matrix to come back to rejoin the unit, because he's doing a way better job of what the government's doing now. So but you know, he declines, departs the island with Jenny and Cindy, all happy on the after. And that's then the movie. So let me get to you guys. I hope you enjoyed that crazy Fran Nally. That's what we're here for, right? So let me start with you, Jeff. What do you thought about this end sequence? And go ahead, be yourself. Wow.
Hell yeah.
Am I the only one who felt like he was hampered by that like big like bazooka gun a little bit?
Yes.
He had a lot of gear on. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. There was a scene where he was keep dropping it from the ground, and like he had to like yeah. I was like, why do you have this thing? It's so stupid. It's like I don't know. So stupid. Go ahead, Jeff. Yeah, I agree with you, Jeff.
Well, that's all I had to say, sir.
That's enough. That's enough.
No, was it my chance to talk or something like that?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Jeff, what you thought about the end, the finale, sir?
Well, I mean, there's so much to it that there's so much good stuff to talk about. I mean, the strap up scene, like that's great. Like him taking on like all the military guys. He really does have unlimited ammunition on that, like on that AR-15 or whatever it is, that M16 he has, or whatever it is, that one machine gun he has. He has unlimited ammo on that thing because he never switches out mags on that thing ever, like at any given time. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny though. It works. It's awesome how he uses all of his guns, like in the like the fighting, and all the fighting like scenes, him going to the shed and getting the farm tools to like the landscaping tools to fight and shit is fucking awesome. He throws the fucking the blade at the one guy's shit and scalps him. You know what I'm saying?
That was the one scene.
Or whatever, It's awesome, dude. And I love it. It's just classic. It's classic Arnold, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the best. How he can hear Jenny from where he's at in the house and shit and everything.
Yeah.
When he hears Jenny's voice, it makes no sense at all. It's like, how is Jenny anywhere geographically near him right now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it makes no sense. But he hears it, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and it works for the movie. And I love how you got and then you got what's her name is like, Sydney is ride or die, you know what I'm saying? Like all the way through, like flying the plane and all that shit, like handling her business, you know what I'm saying? She's all in for the team and all that, just waiting for Arnold to go like handle his business and come back and shit. She's a great character. It's it's a great ending. Who doesn't like knife fighting? You know what I'm saying? Like knife fighting is fucking great, bro. Anybody who watches Daredevil, like Netflix Daredevil, I love like the knife fighting in Daredevil. Like it's great. Just a little crossover to Daredevil, real quick. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there's a little knife fighting in the last episode. But I like knife fighting. Bennett's fucking great. His lines are great. He's all his lines are great. I love how he gets rid of the daughter, gets rid of the gun, and he's like, I'm just gonna kill you or whatever. Like it's great. Great ending. Then it just wraps up real quick. Like you see, Kirby or whatever for a minute or whatever, and then it's piss off and he's out. Arnold's out. With Cindy and his daughter and shit. They're all together. So he's probably gonna bang Cindy or whatever, when they get back to the house.
After all of that, he has to get some stress out.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty much it, sir. I mean, honestly, I'm envious. I'm jealous of Chris that he actually got to see this in the theater.
It was glorious. It was glorious.
Hey. Yeah. Speaking of Chris, let me go with you, Chris. What do you thought about this last action sequence? Sir?
Oh, well, I mean, it's hard to follow Jeff there without to add any more to that. I mean, come on. Of course, Sydney's going to get with Arnold at the end, especially when he gets out of the plane in his little Speedo and is rowing the boat. She's looking at him like, holy shit, man. Yeah. You better hurry back, buddy. Leave Jenny on the beach for about 15 minutes. But yeah, when he suits up, I mean, come on. If you're a man, you have low testosterone, you watch that scene and your testosterone is going to shoot through the roof. He kills, I don't know, what, 80, 100 guys and just bows them all day. Like you said, it's a video game. They're shooting at him and he just, whatever. They're just bouncing off. I have to say, after watching Hot Shots Part 2 so many times, the end of this movie kind of makes me think that where like Charlie Sheen grabs like a handful of bullets and throws them and everybody falls down and stuff. So I kind of got that vibe. But I think when he gets into the tool shed, it just starts hacking the shit out of people. That elevates this whole scene because we've seen gunfights, but we've never seen Arnold just, take a hatchet to somebody's face. I mean, that's glorious. That is glory. That's 80s Arnold glory. You get the great knife fight. Of course, let off some steam, Bennett. I mean, this movie started all of the classic one-liners that you could, I mean, how much we all can quote Arnold one-liners for here until the end of time. So it ends with him leaving, and aside from all of the damn Terminator movies, he keeps showing up, and I would give Arnold credit for not, because they probably came after him after this, be like, hey, let's do a Commando 2, and he didn't. He just let it be one and done, and that's why it's such a great, contained, perfect movie. So yeah, it has the ending it needs to have for this movie.
Well said.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, and so I just checked how many people die in this film, like in total, and it's 81 people, the highest, biggest counts.
I think 75 of them have like really bad fake mustaches when he gets onto the island.
Let me, Tim, what do you thought about the finale act? I'm kind of curious about you, sir. What do you thought about this final amazing act of Commando, sir?
Definitely a classic scene. It's one of those scenes that it's kind of like a tightrope walk too, because it could have been, if Schwarzenegger had done something even just a little differently, it could have ended up being more cheesy. But you take him seriously when he's just walking slowly with a machine gun shooting everybody, and all the guards are being hit, but none are coming his way. It's funny too, because a lot of the soldiers, if you look really carefully, you can see that some of the same stunt people did like 4 or 5 different deaths in that, and they're doing the whole classic 80s shot, when you're shot with machine guns, you're like jumping everywhere. That was good there. As far as Bennett, you had mentioned earlier too about not really knowing his motivation, I guess, and I kind of agree with that, because it could have been something as simple as what Sylvester Stallone did in the first Expendables movie with the Dolph Lundgren character. You could have just said something along the lines of, he was a drug addict at one point or something, and then that's why he had to be let go. I don't think we needed some super long monologue with exposition or anything like that to find out about that, but something would have been nice. But nitpick more than anything else. Also about Matrix hearing his daughter earlier in the film, when the bad guys first go to his house, you see that Arnold, dive to the ground first. And, they mentioned it a couple of different times to where, because of his training, like he talked about smelling those people. And so I can see, his senses being, just heightened more than anything else. Now, again, cheesy action movie, does the typical, yeah, and especially with people, oh no, bad guys are after me. Let's go to the one place where there's no escape. But overall, just absolute classic. And then let off some steam, Bennett. Like, my goodness, like Steven D'Souza doesn't get the credit doesn't get the credit, I feel, as a screenwriter that he really should, for kind of setting the template of what makes a good action movie. And one part of a good action movie is those one-liners, because you need humor to break the tension. I mean, they even do it in John Wick,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like everyone knows about Baba Yaga and like you killed the dog, like it's all kind of, and then of course Die Hard, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, that, everything's, I agree with you, Tim. He should be more critic, respectful, the template of the action films we got during the 80s to 90s. Clarence, what you thought about the final act? Go ahead, spread your wings, be yourself. Enjoy the action that we got here.
Yes, good stuff. That whole beach sequence when he's gearing up and he's I always wonder how they perfectly put the black outliner, and it's like all like perfectly symmetric on their body with like no mirror or anything, which is kind of cool. And the over-the-top explosions are great. And Jeff mentioned there's that one sequence where he's like going through the courtyard and like Uzi, shotgun, 45 pistol. I mean, he's just pulling out all these different guns and like just mowing all down all the enemies. Throws a grenade, and they have the jump pads where that's a classic thing in action movies when you throw the grenade and they explode and they jump, to the side or whatever. So that was good stuff. In the ending part of it, where was that location? I mean, because they're at this house compound thing. Doesn't look like some kind of factory boiler room or something they were in fighting down there. I was like,
Freddy Krueger's in there somewhere.
I mean, but you get that nice back and forth with Arnold, and when he's like, stick the knife in slow. You don't want to use a gun. Stick it in slow so you can see what's going on in there. So I mean, it's great. I mean, and his expressions, Bennett, with the way when they're doing that last fight, I mean, it's just classic. I mean, it's just great. His expression, the way they're doing the whole fight. I mean, it's they're taking blows that would kill anybody on the first. I mean, he's getting hit with metal pipes and electrocuted, and there's like all kinds of things going on, and he simply just rips a pipe off the wall and just throws it through him. I mean, that's
why not
let off some steam. Yeah, General Kirby at the end, like you were saying, he's like horrible. I mean, it's his fault because he led them to Arnold in the first place. Because I don't know what his intelligence was. It was his fault that he's there, and he's asking him if he wants a job. He didn't want a job in the first place. He's only here for his daughter. So why are you asking him if he wants a job? That doesn't. Even, but I digress. It was great, and the ending. Of course, he comes out of the plane. They're about to get on. Yeah, it's just a great ending, and the credits roll. And I think some of this music was like reused from like 48 hours or something. I remember hearing some of this music before.
The soundtrack is great. It's
James
great.
Horner.
Yeah, James Horner.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Okay. It's music, yeah. And then you see the plane take off and circle and fly, and then the credits are rolling. But so yeah, it's just a great movie. Always had a great time with this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim, for bringing up James Horner. Yeah, he did the score here, and yeah, James Horner, very iconic composer. Sadly, he passed away. If you know him, he did a lot of he died in like a horrible plane crash, if I remember correctly. He did the iconic Star Trek scores of Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan and the Starship Spock, and he did the 48 Hours score, which I forgot. I remember I was like, oh yeah, he did this. He did Cocoon and Aliens, and if you pay attention, some of his scores he does reuse these in films like Aliens. You can hear a little bit of the Star Trek soundtrack coming into that, and anyway, a great score, as Jeff said before. I mean, he's the go-to guy for action,
it's great in Commando. The score's great.
Exactly. So, yes. So, thank you, everyone. So now I'm gonna go each one of you guys to rate the film and explain your rating, and then after that I'm gonna let Jeff to kind of plug you guys and pretty much wrap up. So let me start with Chris. Chris,
you would start with me. This is gonna be tough.
I don't know why. Maybe it's your poster. I don't know why.
1 through 10.
I know. Yeah. It's still gonna be tough. My heart says like an 8 or a 9, but my movie going brain says probably a 7.
Hey, it's good. It's still
what do you want to go? I'll go solid 7, just as a pure entertainment. Have fun. Don't take it. If you take this movie seriously, then you've got no soul. You got no joy in your life. I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't want to be in the same room with you if you take this movie seriously. It's just a fun ride. It's Arnold really right at the start of being the global sensation that he will become, especially with Predator. Was it the next year that just takes off? What an amazing movie. But at any rate, I'll give it a solid 7.
Awesome. Jeff, your rating, sir, for this movie?
I'll give it a 9.5.
Oh, okay.
Man.
Cool. Awesome. Clarence, your rating, sir?
I think it's a solid 8. I mean, I usually say something in my podcast. I mean, movies are for enjoyment. Sometimes you just turn your brain off and just have fun with the movie. And there's a lot of nitpicky things that Tim was saying about the movie. We could have gone even more in depth into a lot of nitpicky things that was in this movie. But sometimes you just want to have fun. You just go with the movie logic. I mean, okay, it makes sense for this movie, this universe. Let's just go with it and have some fun. So I think it's a solid 8 for me.
Awesome. Tim, your rating, sir?
I would have to give it a 7 as well. Very solid movie of, definitely one of his best. If we're comparing it to other stuff that he did, like the Terminator films, like Predator, True Lies, stuff like that, I would definitely rank those higher. So I wouldn't want to increase the score, I guess, on that. But it's a perfect popcorn movie. Sometimes life is made better by just escapist fun like this.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. Oh man, this is gonna be tough rating for me because it's like I'm a very deep psychological guy. Love Seven. I love Dark Knight. I love Star Trek 2, Ravka. I love the deep character driven stuff. Shang-Chi, Legendary. Then you get Commando, this opposite of those movies. It's like how the hell he hears his daughter, why Bennett loves this guy but hates him, and then you get this Cindy character who's a trained pilot but is trained to be a pilot during this film, which is crazy. But and then we got a fictional country that is not even the continent of the map we have during that time, and apparently is part of the same universe as Die Hard and Predator. Yeah, this is a tough one. I don't. I gotta fuck it. I give it a 10 out of 10. I mean, like, when do you have a you know when do you gonna have a movie that like have three things: be memorable, be very good with the action, the best action scenes we have seen like in any action, right? And then good memorable characters, like that's something we don't get every time with these movies. Those three things: being memorable, being very like action packed, and memorable characters, and that's something the Commando does well. I agree with you, Tim. It's not top tier Arnold stuff like with the Terminator, True Lies, or Last Action Hero, or it cannot beat those. It's tough, but I think it's up there after those because it delivers what a Arnold film is, and I mean top Predator. I mean like it's tough. So that's my rating. I want to thank all you three for your patience and your time with me. I hope you guys had a great time.
Oh yeah.
And Clarence,
Yeah, a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
yeah,
Yes.
I think I answer how he knew how to draw those lines because there's water. He could see his flexion. I think that's how he did it. I was thinking about
Oh, okay.
it's too deep. I went into that rabbit hole of like, okay, he sees his flexion in the water, and that's how he did the lines there. But anyway, just give you guys like this random bit. Anyway, thank you so much, you guys. I hope you like
thank you.
that. Jeff,
Very good.
hope you guys enjoyed the Commando movie review, you guys. There's more to come. We'll discuss that later. Jeff, go ahead, plug these guys out, and we'll get out of here.
All right, let's do it. All right, let's start with you, Tim. Well, I'm gonna pull up your podcast, and I'll go right to you.
Friends Talking Nerdy, available wherever you listen to podcasts. It delivers new episodes each Monday. This coming Monday, Professor Aubrey and I will be discussing our 5 favorite Cyndi Lauper songs.
Oh,
Yep,
That's
and
cool.
yep, and if you want any more information, you can head to friendstalkingnerdy.com, and there will be links on that page to take you to wherever you need to be able to find the show. We're also on YouTube as well, since they got rid of Google Podcast and migrated the podcasting services directly to YouTube. We are on YouTube too.
I got your YouTube. I got your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I subscribe to it.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, sir. Most definitely. All right. So next, let's see. Clarence.
Yes. Mostly low budget movie reviews with Clarence. This podcast, as I stated, I've had a little while. I do house it on Podbean, but again, it's on all streaming platforms. And my format, I just take one movie and just basically break it down a little bit, talk about it. I have like 5-10 minutes. It's not too long. I do new movies as well. Just started working on the YouTube channel. I think I did one video and I have that up now, and that's under low budget movie reviews with Clarence on YouTube. Just started that like this week, as a matter of fact. So yeah, hopefully you guys check me out, and hopefully I'll be back. Had a good time. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Nice meeting everyone.
You'll be back, brother.
Yep.
I'm sure we'll find a show to get you back on again.
Cool. Very cool.
All right. So, Chris.
Yes. I'm still here. I'm awake. What? Yeah, I'm the Cinematic Traveler podcast, or just the Cinematic Traveler. I'm on all the podcasting services. Just starting in on YouTube and all that fun stuff. You can find my Instagram at Cinematic Traveler Pod. I've got my links in my bio, so you can follow me that way. I do new reviews, mostly new reviews. Once a week, I try to do something in the movie theater. I do spoiler free. This weekend, I'm going to do Death of a Unicorn and see what that's all about, and I'll have that up. Usually, I have them up Sunday evening. And like I said, it's spoiler free, so you can feel kind of safe listening and get an idea whether you want to follow the movie or watch the movie or not.
Okay. Wonderful. All right. So next, Andre's the pop culture guy, sir.
Yes. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Thank you, Clarence, Chris, Tim, for joining us. It was a blast talking to you guys. After this, gonna subscribe you to your stuff. So here's my channel, Andreas Pop Culture Channel of Sense, where here I do all the tributes, rankings, and views of all pop culture themes. Recently, I did Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls. Has its third anniversary. Jeff, thank you so much for joining me on the live stream review we did on that film. That's growing actually, sir. 95 reviews, which is crazy. So, next plan, hopefully tomorrow, I'm gonna do a retrospective / review on Ace Ventura 2, and I do shorts. I do kind of like movie reviews sometimes. I hopefully gonna put my the Mickey 17. I'm gonna see that this week. Hopefully I'm gonna see Death of the Unicorn, as Chris was putting out before, so you can check that. And I mostly do like a lot of short clips of movie stuff there. You see there right now. But yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. So just wrapping up a lot of things for March. I mean, we're almost done with March, which is crazy in the next couple of days. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight. It was a blast.
Thanks for having us.
Yep.
That's right. The MCU's Bleeding Edge is back, and Andres and I will be back with Cyber on Wednesday for Daredevil episode 7.
Which I'm gonna moderate. That's gonna be my turn. Gonna be excited.
Yeah,
so.
It is your turn. Yes, it is. And then we'll have some guest creators on that, and then we'll have Rogue One next week.
Friday. Ooh. Yep, next week. Really good.
That'll be fun. Exciting. Yep, Rogue One. You can't go wrong with Rogue One for a movie review. But hey, welcome, Chris, Clarence, Tim. Welcome to the Bleeding Edge. We enjoyed having you guys on. Andres, great job tonight, sir.
Yes.
And we will get out of here. Just really quick, did you guys hear about this new Special Olympic event?
Oh my God, this one, Jeff. You had to show them the pizza man. The pizza man. Oh my God. Sorry. Oh my God.
That seems about right.
Oh my God, the Olympics. I don't know.
You gotta love Japan, baby. All right, folks. We're out of here. Good night, everybody. For the MCU's Bleeding Edge. God bless everybody. It is Friday. Well, yeah, it's still Friday. Have a great weekend. We will see you next week. And peace.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bring the band in.